Hey everyone. Ever feel like your brain just won't quit even when you're just trying to write a grocery
Oh,
list?
yeah, I know that feeling.
Well, today we're diving into something that might offer you a little mental vacation.
Okay.
Mindfulness and meditation.
Sounds relaxing already.
And trust me, this isn't just another wellness trend.
Right.
We've got tons of research that suggests these practices have some seriously impressive benefits.
Yeah, the evidence is really piling up. It goes way beyond just like feeling a little calmer, you
It
know?
really does.
Yeah.
It's like mindfulness and meditation give you this whole toolbox for well-being,
Uh-huh.
from sharper focus to better sleep, even stronger relationships.
Wow, that's a lot.
So yeah, get ready because this deep dive is your all-access pass
Okay.
to understanding not just what these practices are, but why everyone's making such a fuss about them.
I like that all access pass.
Yay.
Yeah. We're going to unpack the science behind all the hype and help you figure out
Right.
if these practices could help you live a more balanced life.
Okay, so first up, let's tackle the mental health benefits. One thing that really jumped out at me from the research was the impact on cortisol.
Cortisol.
You know that stress hormone that makes you feel like you're always on edge?
Oh, yeah, like you're constantly about to jump out of your skin.
Exactly.
Right. And if you have high cortisol all the time, it can really mess with your body.
Yeah, it can.
It increases your risk for all kinds of things, anxiety, depression, heart disease, you name it.
Oh, wow.
Even insomnia.
It's like your body's stuck in fight or flight mode.
Exactly.
Even when you know there's nothing actually chasing you.
Right.
But here's where mindfulness comes in. The research shows that both mindfulness and meditation can actually lower those cortisol levels.
Really?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
By focusing on the present moment, whether it's through paying attention to your breath
Okay.
or just noticing what you're feeling in your body,
Uh-huh.
you're basically hitting the pause button on that stress response.
That makes sense.
So instead of getting swept away by, worries about the future or regrets about the past,
Mm-hmm.
you're bringing your attention back to right here, right now.
So you're just like, hey, I'm here.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so powerful.
It is.
And that shift in focus is key to, breaking free from those overthinking and worry cycles
Right.
that fuel stress and anxiety.
Ugh, it's the worst.
I know, right?
Imagine finally being able to quiet that inner critic
Mm-hmm.
and finding a sense of calm amidst all the craziness.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
right.
Yeah.
But okay, is there actual proof this stuff works?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
There was this big study published in JAMA Internal Medicine.
No, yeah, I read that one.
You know it.
Yeah.
They found that people who finished a mindfulness meditation program
Mm-hmm.
had way less stress and anxiety
Wow.
compared to the group that didn't do the program.
That's a huge difference.
And it didn't stop there. They also said they felt happier and slept better.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Now, I've also heard of other programs too, like mindfulness-based cognitive therapy.
Oh, yeah. MBCT.
Is that similar?
It is, but it's also kind of different.
Okay.
MBCT is a type of therapy that mixes mindfulness meditation with cognitive behavioral techniques.
Interesting.
Yeah. And it's especially good for people who struggle with depression that keeps coming back.
Oh, so it's like a longer-term solution?
Yeah, you can think of it like training your mind,
Like a mental gym.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It helps you learn to spot those negative thought patterns that can make you feel down.
So you're not just, feeling better temporarily.
Right.
You're actually developing the skills to deal with those tough emotions in the long run.
You got it.
Now, I've always struggled with focus.
Me too, especially these days.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like our world is designed to distract us.
It really is.
Can mindfulness really help with that?
You're not alone in feeling that way. And yeah, the research says it can be a game changer
Okay.
for focus and concentration. Studies have shown that just 10 minutes a day of meditation can boost your attention span
Wow.
and improve your ability to stay on task.
Okay. I'm intrigued, but how does simply focusing on your breath translate into being able to resist, checking my phone every 5 seconds?
Right. It seems too simple.
Yeah.
Well, it all comes down to this cool thing called neuroplasticity.
Neuroplasticity.
Yeah, that's your brain's ability to change and adapt over time.
So it's like our brains are always evolving.
They are.
Mm-hmm.
When you consistently practice focusing on your breath,
Mm-hmm.
you're basically strengthening the neural pathways in your brain
Okay.
that are all about attention and concentration.
So it's like building a muscle,
Exactly. The more you work it, the stronger it gets.
like training for a marathon.
Yeah, at first it might be hard to focus for even a few minutes,
Mm-hmm.
but with practice, you'll find you can pay attention for longer.
Okay.
and resist those tempting distractions.
So I could actually get to the end of a task without getting sidetracked.
You could imagine how much you could get done.
Yeah.
That would be
I
amazing.
know, right?
Okay, I'm starting to see why everyone's so excited about this.
Me too.
All right, let's move on to emotions.
Okay.
This is where things get really interesting
Mm-hmm.
because it seems like mindfulness is less about suppressing your emotions
Yay.
and more about learning to manage them really well.
You're getting it. It's like mindfulness gives you the superpower,
Oh, I like that.
the ability to observe your emotions without judgment.
Okay.
So instead of getting swept away by every feeling that pops up,
Uh-huh.
you learn to create space between yourself and your emotions,
I see.
which lets you respond more skillfully.
So instead of just reacting,
Yeah.
you can choose how you want to respond.
Exactly.
I love that.
Mm.
But can you give me like a real life example?
Sure. Let's say you're stuck in traffic.
Oh, the worst.
I know, right? And you start feeling that road rage bubbling up.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of letting that anger take over and maybe like yelling at the person next to you.
Mindfulness helps you just notice the anger, acknowledge it,
Okay.
and then choose a better way to respond.
So I could like take a few deep breaths.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or put on some calming music.
Right. Or just remind myself that it's not worth ruining my whole day.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
It's all about hitting that pause button before you react,
Mm-hmm.
which gives you the freedom to choose a response
Yeah.
that's, in line with your values.
That's so empowering.
It is. And the benefits go way beyond just handling tough situations.
Okay.
This increased emotional intelligence can also lead to better relationships
Really?
because you're better able to understand and empathize with other people.
It's like you're not just thinking about yourself all the time.
Right.
You can actually put yourself in other people's shoes.
Exactly.
That makes sense. Plus, if you're not constantly, freaking out or getting overwhelmed,
Yeah,
you're probably a lot nicer to be around.
definitely. And this isn't just some feel-good idea.
Right.
There's actual brain science to back it up. Studies show that mindfulness practices can actually increase gray matter.
Gray matter.
Yeah, in the parts of your brain that control emotional regulation, self-awareness, and compassion.
Wow. So mindfulness is literally rewiring our brains for emotional well-being.
It really is.
Yeah.
That's incredible, right?
That is incredible.
And we're just getting started. Mindfulness doesn't just affect your mind and emotions.
Ah,
It also has some surprising physical benefits, but we'll talk about those after a quick break.
can't wait.
Me neither. It really is amazing how connected our mental and physical health are.
It's like our bodies are always listening in on our thoughts and then reacting.
Yeah, it's a two-way street for sure.
So what kind of physical benefits can we get from all this mindfulness stuff?
Well, one area where mindfulness really stands out is sleep.
Oh, sleep.
Yeah, we all know how important a good night's sleep is.
For everything.
For everything, exactly. And yet so many of us struggle to actually get it.
Oh, tell me about it. I'm the queen of like 3 a.m. worry spirals. But wait, are you saying mindfulness can actually help with sleep?
There's some really promising research that suggests it can.
Okay.
There was a study published in the Sleep Journal,
Mm-hmm.
and it found that people with insomnia who used mindfulness techniques,
Okay.
they actually slept better.
Wow.
Yeah, they fell asleep faster, stayed asleep longer, and woke up feeling more rested.
I'm picturing myself like actually waking up on the right side of the bed for once.
Mm.
Not, dragging myself out from under a pile of anxieties.
Right, that sounds much better.
So much better. But how does like calming your mind actually lead to better sleep?
It's all about breaking those cycles of racing thoughts that keep us up at night.
Okay.
When your mind is just buzzing with worries and to-do lists and replaying stuff from the day over and over.
Yeah.
It's like your brain's stuck in overdrive.
It won't shut off.
Yeah, and that makes it almost impossible to relax and fall asleep.
It's like trying to fall asleep with a marching band playing in your head.
Yeah, I
Huh.
like that.
But mindfulness gives us a way to quiet those mental trumpets.
Yeah, you can create a more peaceful space inside.
Exactly. And if mindfulness can help calm those racing thoughts, maybe it can also help with something else that I struggle with.
What's that?
High blood pressure.
You're right on track there.
Yeah.
Research has shown that mindfulness practices can actually lower blood pressure.
Barely.
Yeah, which is great news for your heart.
Oh, that's good to know.
When you're stressed all the time, your body pumps out those stress hormones, like cortisol.
Right?
And those hormones make your blood vessels constrict,
Oh, wow.
which makes your heart work harder.
It's like your body's always getting ready for a fight, even when there's no danger.
Exactly. And over time, that can really wear down your heart and blood vessels.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it increases your risk for heart disease and stroke.
That's scary.
It is. But mindfulness can help counter that.
Okay.
By calming your nervous system and reducing those stress hormones,
Uh,
you're basically giving your heart a break.
it's like a spa day for your heart.
Yeah. Exactly. And I've also read about mindfulness being used for pain management.
Oh, yeah, especially for chronic pain.
Right. There's a connection there
So
too.
how does that work?
This is where things get really interesting. Mindfulness can't make pain disappear completely,
Okay.
but research suggests it can change how we experience and deal with pain. You
Interesting.
see, when we're in pain, our natural instinct is to focus on it, to tense up and resist it.
Yeah, we want to make it go away.
Right. But that often just makes the pain feel worse.
That's like when you have a mosquito bite, and the more you scratch it.
The more it itches.
Exact.
Mindfulness teaches us to approach pain differently,
Okay.
with curiosity and without judgment.
So we don't try to fight it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We acknowledge it, we notice the sensations, and we even explore the emotions that come with it.
So instead of resisting the pain,
Mhm.
we're kind of accepting it.
You got it. And that shift in perspective can make a big difference in how we cope.
Wow.
Studies show that mindfulness can actually reduce how intense the pain feels. Yeah. And it can lessen the emotional distress that comes with pain.
That's huge.
It is. And it can even improve physical function for people with chronic pain.
That's pretty amazing. So we've talked about how mindfulness can benefit our minds, our emotions, and our physical health.
We have. It's a pretty impressive list.
It is, but does it stop there?
Not at all. Mindfulness can also boost our creativity and problem-solving skills.
Oh, really? I've always thought of myself as a creative person,
Uh-huh.
but I definitely have those times when I feel stuck.
We all do.
Can mindfulness really help us get unstuck and come up with fresh ideas?
It really can. You see, when our minds are full of worries and to-do lists and that constant mental chatter, it's like trying to create something beautiful in a really messy room.
Yeah, it's hard to focus.
Exactly. It's hard to find the space and clarity to let those creative ideas flow.
It's like trying to hear a whisper in the middle of a rock concert.
Exactly.
And
But mindfulness helps us turn down the volume on that mental noise.
that creates space for new ideas.
It's exactly. By cultivating a calm and focused mind,
Uh-huh.
mindfulness creates a space where creativity can flourish.
It's like cleaning up your studio so you have room to create.
Exactly. And research backs this up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, studies show that people who practice mindfulness tend to be more creative thinkers.
Wow.
They're better at coming up with new ideas,
Uh-huh.
finding innovative solutions to problems, and thinking outside the box.
That's so cool. And that kind of thinking is helpful for everyone.
It is not just artists and musicians.
Right. Like anyone who faces challenges at work or in their personal life.
Exactly.
Yep.
Whether you're trying to come up with a new marketing campaign, write a story, or even figure out a tricky relationship problem,
Yeah.
mindfulness can help you approach those situations with a fresh perspective and a more flexible mindset.
It's like mindfulness gives us a mental reset button
I like that.
so we can see things in a new way and break free from those old ways of thinking.
Exactly. And this ability to think creatively and solve problems, it has ripple effects in every area of our lives.
Well, I can see that.
It can make us more resilient,
Mm.
more adaptable to change,
Mm.
and more successful in reaching our goals.
It's like mindfulness gives us the tools to thrive.
It really does. But the benefits don't stop with us as individuals.
Oh.
They also extend outward to our relationships and how we interact with other people.
So mindfulness can help us with our relationships too.
It can. You know, we were just talking about how mindfulness helps us think more creatively and solve problems more effectively.
Yeah,
Well, it turns out that those skills are really important for building strong relationships too.
that makes sense.
When we can approach challenges with a clear and open mind, we're more likely to find solutions that work for everyone involved.
Right. It's like we're not so stuck in our own way of seeing things.
Exactly. And that flexibility is key in any relationship.
I've also noticed that a lot of these benefits we've talked about, whether it's managing stress, regulating our emotions, or even being more creative, they all seem to come back to this one core skill,
And what's that?
paying attention to the present moment.
You're absolutely right. That present moment awareness is the foundation of mindfulness.
It's like the key that unlocks all the other benefits.
Exactly. And it's what allows us to really show up in our relationships.
Because, let's be honest, most of the time we're not truly present in our conversations.
It's true.
We're either thinking about the past, planning what we're going to say next, Or just getting distracted by our phones.
It's like we're physically there, but our minds are somewhere else completely.
Yeah, and that creates this disconnect.
It does. It prevents us from really listening and understanding each other.
And it makes it harder to communicate effectively.
You got it.
But mindfulness gives us a way to bridge that gap.
It does.
By learning to pay attention to the present moment, we become better listeners, more empathetic communicators, and more in tune with what other people need.
Exactly. And research shows that this can have a big impact on our relationships.
Like how?
Well, for example, couples who practice mindfulness together,
Okay.
they report feeling more satisfied in their relationships.
Really?
Yeah, and they have fewer conflicts.
Wow.
And they feel a deeper sense of connection and intimacy.
So mindfulness can help us build stronger and more fulfilling relationships.
It can. Not just with romantic partners, but with friends, family members, colleagues, everyone.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
But there's one more piece of the mindfulness puzzle that I'm really curious about.
Oh, is that?
The idea of mindfulness as an inner journey.
Oh, yeah?
Like a path to self-discovery.
I love that. You see, the power of mindfulness goes way beyond just the practical benefits.
Okay.
It's also a really powerful tool for exploring who we are at our core.
It's like getting to know ourselves on a deeper level.
Exactly. It's about uncovering our values and connecting with a sense of purpose.
Because it's so easy to get caught up in the busyness of life, you know?
It is. We're constantly striving for things outside of ourselves.
It's achievements, recognition.
Right. But mindfulness invites us to turn inward.
To look inside ourselves.
Yes, and to explore the richness of our own inner world.
It's like taking a journey to the center of our being.
I like that.
Yeah.
And it's on that journey that we can start to ask those big questions.
The questions that really matter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, what's truly important to us?
What do we want our lives to be about?
And how can we live in a way that feels meaningful and aligned with our values?
It's like mindfulness gives us a compass to guide us back to our true selves.
Beautifully said. And this journey of self-discovery is different for everyone.
Right. There's no right or wrong way to do it.
Exactly. There's no one right way to practice mindfulness or to define what it means to live a more mindful life.
It's about finding what works for you.
Yes. Experiment with different practices. Be patient with yourself and see where the journey takes you.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into mindfulness, I have to say I'm feeling pretty inspired.
Me too.
It's like this whole new world of possibilities has opened up.
I'm so glad to hear that. And I hope our listeners are feeling inspired too.
I hope so too. Remember, mindfulness isn't about being perfect.
It's not about becoming some kind of Zen master.
Right. It's about cultivating a more present, aware, and compassionate way of being in the world.
One breath at a time.
And the best part is, it's a skill that's available to all of us.
It is no matter who you are, what you believe, or what you've been through.
You don't need any special equipment or fancy retreats.
Nope. You can start practicing mindfulness right here, right now.
Just by bringing your attention to this moment.
To your breath, to the sensations in your body.
And the more you practice, the more natural it becomes.
It does.
And the more you'll experience those amazing benefits we've been talking about.
So our invitation to you, dear listener, is to start your own mindfulness adventure.
Explore the practices that speak to you.
Be kind to yourself.
And see what unfolds.
You might be surprised by what you discover.
Thanks for joining us on this journey, everyone. We'll see you next time for another deep dive.
Until then, be well and be mindful.